The majority of my putt comes from my arm and wrist. There's not a whole lot of lower body movement, especially when I'm closer to the basket, kind of inside of that 35-foot range. Try to give myself a pretty linear stroke, try to run my arm up and down the center of the basket and get a good little pop of the disc at the end of the stroke. I guess the first thing you really have to address when you're, approaching the basket is your lie. When I approach my lie, I, put my right foot forward. I'm a right-handed putter, and I kind of stagger my foot at a slight angle, but I want to keep my shoulders pretty square to the basket. But by turning my foot, I kind of change the angle of my hips, and it opens it up and gives me a more open swing, so that when I come, up and down, I have, a little more room to work with. First thing I do when I approach my lie is, I'm setting my right foot forward. I'm putting out a slight angle. I would say it's probably relative to where the basket is. It's probably pointing at maybe like a 10 or 11 o'clock. And then my back foot is pretty much lined up with the pole. Once I get that done, I have my stance, and my shoulders are relatively square to the actual basket. The majority of my weight over my front leg when I'm putting. I definitely have like a little bit of a push on the back leg, but not a ton. I feel like I don't need a whole lot of that weight shift momentum when I'm closer to the basket. I can get most of what I need just from my arm. So if you can eliminate a variable, it definitely just helps becoming a little more consistent. So I grip my putters with kind of like a fan grip. I put this little digit of my pointer finger on the bead. I putt with KC Pro ABRs. So I'm fanned out on the bottom and kind of like angled a little bit back. So it allows me to, when I'm putting at the very end, to kind of get like a little pop of my fingers with my wrists. I get, I can use my wrist, but then the fingers also create a little pop and a little bit of rotation. So between my wrists and my fingers is how I can spin the disc and kind of keep it floating in the air. All of our feet are set, shoulders are squared up, and the putter's in hand. I go through, some practice motions. I like to kind of run my arm up the center of the pole. You're just lining that up and just getting comfortable with that up and down motion. That is, I'm coming down towards my left leg, coming down, and then springing back up. And then at the very end, you get that pop and extension with your wrists and fingers. And you just kind of want to open your hand towards the basket and almost like you're trying to shake its hand. Coming up, down,